Hi, I'm Grateful Ted. Thanks for being here because I really appreciate the time you invest in watching these. So, again, I'm very thankful. Originally, I had a really cool art exhibit that I was going to show you guys, and so I went over the river, through the woods, all right, actually over the Cascades, to Portland, and unfortunately, it snowed in Portland. They never get snow, and well, rarely. And when they do get snow, the whole city closes down. So that's what happened. And the art exhibit changed my tickets because of they were closed for the snow. So that'll be coming up in a few weeks. So what do I do? Well, I thought maybe you guys would like to see what I use in my camera bag to film stuff for you. One of the things that I've learned doing this for a couple of years now, almost 2 years now, is that the less you can take with you, a lot of times the better it is. So I was given this bag and I said, you know what? I want to try to get all my camera stuff into this little bag. And so I did. It took me a while. So what we have right here is everything that I take when I go out for a day of filming for you. And we're going to get into what this is. So I started out in vlogging with a Sony ZV-1. In fact, that's what I'm using to film this right now because my regular stuff that I use is right here. And I liked it. But one of the things that happens when you do these vlogs is you contract gas. And gas stands for gear acquisition syndrome. And I caught it. But I'm over it now. In any case, I upgraded from the Sony ZV-1 to the ZV-E10. And there were many things to like about that camera, but there was one thing that I just couldn't handle, and that was the wavy background. So I'm not skilled enough to get rid of that, so I upgraded again. And what I upgraded to was the Sony ZV-1, and I'm in love with this camera. This is a great vlogging camera if you can afford it. It's very expensive, but to me it was totally worth it. And I keep it in here, and then I can put it in the bag and it doesn't get scratched up. It remains pretty pristine. Also in this little case is a pocket, and in that pocket is this little goodie right here, and I can keep my cords for the microphones. And I'm going to get into the mics a little later because they're super important if you're a vlogger. I also had a second camera, and after I upgraded to the Sony, and that was the Sony, or the GoPro Hero 11. I took a lot of this stuff with us when we went to Europe, and when I was in Paris, one of the things that was stolen was my Hero 11 with the Volta. And I use the Volta a lot when I used the GoPro. I use the GoPro for a lot of walking around. It's smaller, it's easier to carry, especially with the Volta. It lasts longer, but it was stolen with a few other things. I lost the lens for this camera because I had a second lens on it at the time. But what I like about this is if you look at the GoPro, I'm using the Enduro battery. They're terrific. If you're going to use a battery, with the GoPro. I say go enduro. There's no comparison to the regular battery. But what I do is I plug in the Volta like this and press the little battery button there. And this comes on and I can use it. It's on right now, and you can see that I can record with it, and I can walk around, and it's not very noticeable at all. People know that it's just a little camera. They don't have any problem when you walk around. And with the Volta here, let me turn this off. And with the Volta here, I don't need to have an extra battery, and it keeps this from overheating. And this lasts a good three, maybe 4 hours with this. And vloggers don't really film for, 3 hours at a time. It's more like a minute here, 30 seconds there, 2 to 4 minutes over here. And so you turn it off and that kind of thing. So it lasts all day for me. Then I got this recently. You see a lot of vlogs where people get products early, and this helps you get gear acquisition syndrome. But you see a lot of vlogs where people say, "Hey, I've had the brand new Sony ZV-E1 for the last 3 weeks," and they release a video on the day that the public is released and can buy it, and they've been using it for 3 or 4 weeks because Sony sent it to them, and then they give you a review. I take each of those reviews with a grain of salt, because my sense is if they did a really bad review, Sony wouldn't send it to them anymore, or DJI, or whomever. But this is the Pocket 3, and I'm going to get into this in just a minute. One of the things that's really helped me upgrade, and I can't stress this enough, is a website called MPB. I don't remember what it stands for right now, but I'm going to put a link to it down below, because it buys your used equipment, giving you different prices based on what kind of condition it's in. And I've been able to sell the ZV-E1, the ZV-10 to help me pay for this. I've sold the Pocket 2 to help me pay for the Pocket 3. And when I had my equipment stolen, I was able to buy really great quality used equipment to help me replace it. Anyway, this is the Pocket 3, and I got the Creator Combo, and I cannot stress enough that if you're really going for the Pocket 3, please get the Creator Combo. It's totally worth it. But it's small. It can actually fit in your pocket, hence the name the Pocket. The Creator Combo comes with the DJI Mic 2. And I cannot stress enough how high quality the audio is from both the DJI Mic 1 and the DJI Mic 2. But I use the Mic 1 for when I'm using the Sony, and actually I'm using it right now to record this, so you can hear how it is. I know many of you are like me, and you've probably seen people where the microphone is outside like this, and they have what's called the dead cat. It's a little puffy thing to help keep the wind noise down. But one of the things that I discovered was that I could put this in my pocket, and because it comes with a magnet, I could put it in my pocket, put the magnet on the outside rather than putting the microphone on the outside, and it's less obtrusive. I kind of get distracted when somebody's talking like this into a microphone, or it's on their clothing with a big puffy thing on it. So this is a lot less intrusive, and even when it's somewhat windy, you can't really hear the wind, especially when you do your audio in post-production. I hope you think this sounds okay, but so you get a sense of what this sounds like. Also, you get a small little tripod, and you get an extra battery. And what I found is this thing is phenomenal in low light. If you go to this link right up here, you'll see some Christmas lights. It's a whole vlog I did, and the only camera I used was this one, and it really captured good audio. And it also allowed me to downsize. I'm finding that I probably am not using the GoPro as much. Now, the GoPro I really do still like. I get 5K recording in 10-bit, and that's really, really good. So I still use it. So I have this little case. It holds the GoPro and the DJI mics. But one of the things that you can do with the pocket is you can put this extension on it, and it's still really small, and then you can screw it to a small selfie stick, and you can hold it out here, vlog like that if you want, or you can put it way up high, and it's almost like having a drone. And of course, here in the US, you cannot fly drones over people. And so this allows you to walk through crowds with this thing way up high, and it looks like a drone shot, but it's not. And I've used it that way. I also have used the Action 2 that way. I keep this in this little bag. So again, this is all I carry, and it's not very heavy at all. I've got a extras, what I call the extras bag, and it's got an extra battery for the Sony. It's got an extra battery for the GoPro, and it's where I keep my little dead cats for the microphones. But also, this is really where I use the Action 2 the most, is there is a necklace. And you put the necklace on, and then you can put this right here, and that's almost as unobtrusive as you can possibly get. And you can walk through crowds. I've done the Oregon Country Fair, and technically you're not supposed to record video, but you can walk through the country fair and really not get noticed at all. The other way that I use the Action 2 is I've got a camera holder on my windshield, and this is my car camera. I think that's pretty much it in this bag right here. Everything goes in here, and it doesn't weigh hardly anything. Once in a while, I'll take an extra lens for the Sony camera, and the two lenses I tend to use the most, if I do that, one's this Tamron. It's a 17 to 28 millimeter, and the other is, this is actually an APS-C lens. Full frame cameras you don't really want to use APS-C lenses as a rule, but there are APS-C lenses that work with this. So I have this a little 11 millimeter that I got for the ZV-1, the ZV-E10, and I kept it because I like using the dynamic the dynamic action on this, but that crops in by a third. And so this the 28 to 60 millimeter lens that comes with the kit lens turns into something super close. And it's too close, you don't get to see enough. So with this 11 millimeter lens, I get about what you're seeing right now on the sides here. So it's been pretty cold here after I got back from Portland. This morning when I was laying in bed, it was -3. By the time I got my clothes on, it was 0 Fahrenheit, and right now it's 18 Fahrenheit. It's cold out, and there's over a foot of snow out there. I might have mentioned this before, once or twice, but this is a travel and events log, and it can get expensive because A, you have to travel, and B, you have to pay to get into many of these events. So I've recently become an affiliate in the Amazon program, and if all the stuff is available there, and if you click the link down below, you can get it at the same price you could get it anywhere going on to Amazon, but I get a little dinky percentage of that. And you know, if you put a bucket underneath a spigot and one drop drops every minute or so, eventually the bucket fills up. So help me fill my bucket up. As I might have mentioned earlier, there's a lot of snow. There's over a foot of snow outside here. So I don't know what I'm going to be able to do this coming week for you, but I'm going to try to find something that you can watch that you might enjoy. If you like this, give it a thumbs up. Hit the like button, because I can always use that. That helps the channel. Also, you might consider subscribing. I'm trying to get the magic 1,000 subscribers. We'll see if that happens. In any case, we'll see you next time.